And now we know why. um, Another tragic situation unfolding in a liberal cesspool of violence and degeneracy. Pierre, very famous chef, witnesses a shooting at his fine dining restaurant, Pierre in Oakland, California. Now, when you look at this situation, immediately you're going to say, it's the usual suspects, black folks. But I'm going to bring another aspect to your attention. What about the soft on crime policies that the people of Oakland unanimously voted for? What about these policies that protects criminals, emboldens criminals, and absolves criminals of their responsibility to be law-abiding citizens? See, it's easy to look at the skin color of someone doing a crime and say, well, it's always them. It's easy to ignore the fact that in many ways, this is beginning to look like an orchestrated situation. Like cities are intentionally being left unprotected. Criminals are intentionally being let out of jail or not even taken in. And the law enforcement agencies of cities all around America are being intentionally defunded. Remember, defund the police. So that now they are so understaffed that they really don't have the ability to respond to crimes as fast as they need to be able to discourage people from committing crime. There's a lot of factors at play in a city like Oakland, and to just say, oh, it's just the usual suspects, to me is very ignorant. That being said, everyone keeps telling me I keep centering the black community and you make everything about being black and all this stuff. Well, I'm living a black experience. I'm black. And I don't like the fact that my people have become synonymous with crime, criminal activity, and degenerate behavior. But what I know is that if you don't accept that you have a problem, you'll never be able to solve it. And I feel that when people try to put you down or make you feel bad for calling out black folks for the ridiculous stuff we be doing, I feel like, in a way, they are asking you to pretend to be ignorant of the true context in which all this stuff is happening. There is no way. I don't care how mad you are at someone. I don't care what beef you guys have. There is no way I'm going to have a shootout at any restaurant, but especially a black-owned restaurant, knowing that this is creating jobs in my community, knowing that another black man worked hard to establish this situation, and knowing that it will just further the narrative of black people being wild, degenerate animals with no regard for human life and even less regard for the lives of each other. It's just something about the optics of a situation that makes me think before I act. And every man, whether you want to accept it or not, whether you are a consummate victim who makes excuses, every man has a choice. Every man makes a decision to be ignorant or to stand on business as a man and do the honorable thing. But when you live in a society that downplays things like honor and dignity and morals, it makes you feel like those things are just relics of the past, that you really shouldn't give any attention to those things because they really carry no weight or sway in our society. What do you expect to happen? You know, black folks do everything to the 10th degree when compared to everybody else. I mean, have you ever been to white church? White folks in there singing, the Lord is our God. Black folks is dancing and falling out and breakdancing all in the aisles. We extra. That's what we do. That's cool. But even when it comes to committing crime, we extra. It's like we're so hyper emotional that whenever we do something, we got to do it to the 10th power, as if that's going to make like a bigger statement. You know, that's just the way I think about it. But Oakland, blaming the criminals ain't going to fix this. Real talk. You guys got to blame the politicians, the leaders you guys select that have guilt-tripped you into creating an environment that is a safe haven for criminals. That's just the reality. You guys have created a situation that has emboldened criminals and perpetuated criminal activity. And until you admit that, things like this are going to keep happening. I'll donate some money to the brothers' GoFundMe, but I damn sure won't be eating at Pierre anytime soon. It's a sad situation. I'm glad that both victims are going to survive, but it's time for some accountability. It's time to put the party loyalty to the side. Stop just voting blue no matter who. If you really want your city to prosper and thrive, you're going to have to start selecting people based on their resume, based on their track record, and based on their ability to do the job, because Democrat and Republican ain't putting souls back in bodies when people get laid out. And we live in California, so Republicans don't even run anything. It's all Democrat. You got to give credit where credit is due, and you got to give criticism where criticism is due. And the definition of insanity is to continue doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I would ask the people of Oakland to look at the things that you've been doing for years the same way, like voting, and ask yourself a realistic question. Is this the action of someone who is sane, or is this the action of someone who is insane? And I'm pretty sure when you realize that you guys have been voting unanimously Democrat for decades, and your city's only gotten worse and worse, I'm sure you'll realize that it's time to do something different. Now, I'm not saying you got to vote Republican, because there are Democrat candidates who have sense. But you guys are picking the worst of the worst extreme leftist radicals who run on defund the police and criminal enabling platforms. Take some time and think, do your research before you make the decision of who's going to be the mayor in the next election that's coming up next year. Because your decision on who your next administration is going to be, or who your next administration, or what your next administration is going to consist of, it could be a matter of life or death. Peace.